Talking with the experts.
Welcome to Talking with the Experts, where we believe that success is a journey, and every journey is easier with help from friends. That's why we bring you top-notch experts and real business heroes eager to share their lessons from the road to success. We delve into new topics each week: effective marketing strategies, innovative problem solving, financial planning, and team building. We tackle everything you need to know to grow your business and keep it thriving. Whether you dream about launching your first startup or are a business veteran looking to shake things up, we've got you covered. With each episode, you'll gain knowledge, boost your confidence, and be inspired to take action. So, grab a coffee, make yourself comfortable, and join our exciting journey. You're not alone in this. We're here, guiding you, cheering for you, and celebrating each milestone. Let's turn your business dreams into reality, starting today. Here is your host, Rose Davidson.
Talking with the experts.
In episode 499, Benecia Ponder shares with us from her book, Let Your Light Shine, Turn on Your Power to Create More Impact and Income with Your Story.
Yes. So I mentioned it a little bit in passing before. You want to tell stories that are going to do a couple of things. First, you want to tell stories that are going to build your credibility or your authority. Stories about accomplishments, your journeys to accomplishment, stories about things that you've achieved. Those type of stories, again, build credibility. They build upon your expert status. So you might tell about your journey to becoming a certified coach, or your journey to getting a degree, or if you're a marriage coach, your journey to finding the love of your life. Those stories show your credibility and your authority. You also want to share stories that allow people to relate to you, stories that your community can see themselves in. One of the things that
Talking with the experts.
Is starting a podcast on your bucket list? Unlock successful podcasting for your business with this 81-page ebook. From passive listener to raving loyalist, the ultimate playbook to mastering podcasting for service-based businesses. Get your copy today. Purchase for $27 for a limited time. Or find it at rose-davidson.com in the store.
Hello and welcome to Talking with the Experts. I'm your host, Rose Davidson from rose-davidson.com. Talking with the Experts is all about business by business owners for business owners. You can find it on all good podcasting streaming platforms and on YouTube. Today, my guest is Benecia Ponder, and we're going to be discussing how we can let our light shine and turn our power into something that can create more impact and income with our stories. Now, normally, we don't think about stories as being impactful, but in today's competitive landscape, standing out from the crowd is essential. Telling your unique story distinguishes you from competitors and adds that authenticity to your brand, and people are naturally drawn to genuine experiences. And when you share your personal journey, you establish credibility and authority within your industry. And so Benecia she's a story coach and a book publishing mentor to inspirational authors. She's faith-driven creator who shares her God-given gifts of life experiences through powerful stories that inspire and impact lives. She is an award-winning author of 6 books of her own and has helped hundreds of entrepreneurs make a bigger difference and profit by getting their stories out of their hearts and onto the paper to make that impact and to inspire people that are called to serve. Benecia, welcome so much for joining me today. I'm looking forward to hearing more about your books and how you can help others to get their stories out down on paper.
Yes, I'm so super excited to be here, Rose. Thank you for having me.
Now tell me, did you become a coach, a story coach?
Oh my gosh, it's a story. It's a story for sure. Well, I started out as an attorney and business development strategist. And as most people, one day I woke up and realized, okay, this is not for me. I was following standards and what other people thought I should do and what sounded good, what was bringing in the money, but it really wasn't my passion. And so I decided to leave being an attorney and I jumped into the world of coaching, speaking, empowerment. And really, my message was you are unstoppable. You are called here to do great things. And don't let anything stand in your way. So I was helping people do that. I coached entrepreneurs, business owners, individuals who really wanted to make an impact in this world and grow their purpose-driven businesses beyond just an expensive hobby. And I did that for a while. I was writing books of my own. And one day, one of my clients asked me, "Hey, Benecia, can you write a book for me?" And I said, let's see. And so I helped her to take her story. She is a phenomenal business leader and she had several multi-million-dollar businesses and she wanted to share her story of overcoming poverty and growing up being bullied and all of those things. And so I helped her to write her book. And it was just like a spark went off. Other people started contacting me to ask them to help them write their books or publish their books. And so the journey began. I have worked with so many amazing people over the years. And it all started with me realizing, hey, I need to follow my own purpose and my own path to what lights me up. And when I did that, I was then able to translate that into helping others to do that as well.
Wonderful. So how can we, get our stories out on paper? I mean, we all have a story to tell about something, whether it's personal or work related. So
Yeah,
how do we
absolutely.
get that from out of our heads and onto this paper? Because, some people find it quite challenging. I know I do.
I think the very first step, and that's what Let Your Light Shine is all about. The very first step is realizing the importance and the validity and value in your story. When you recognize that, what holds a lot of people back is that they are thinking, okay, who's going to want to hear this story? This is really relate, especially when we're talking to entrepreneurs, influencers, or creators, or coaches, and people who are in the marketplace wanting to get clients and wanting to make money. And they're thinking, hey, I need to stay on message. I need to stay on brand. I need to make sure that people are coming to me and they want to buy my stuff. And so sometimes, honestly, entrepreneurs feel like their story has no place in their business, but I'm here to tell you it does. And so the very first way to start thinking about getting that story out of your heart, out of your head, and out there into the world is, number one, to realize that the world needs your story. And number two, that when you share your story, you are connecting with those people that you're called to serve. You're connecting with that audience, that community, if you will. And when you build that connection, then that's when all of the magic happens. So the very first step is to realize that it's valuable, it's valid, and it's important. People need it. And then the mechanics of it all come from there. You write it out, get it on paper, begin to one of the things I help people do is to find their stories, right? To determine which stories are in their story chest, I call it, right? So which stories are related to your authority, which stories are related to your relatability or connectivity, which stories are related to building your community and connection. And when you find those stories, then finding how they fit within your message to share those stories. And so getting those stories out, the writing them out is probably the easiest part. You might not think it, but the first parts are the hardest sometimes in actually understanding your story and then knowing which stories to tell.
Yeah, I don't know. I've got a personal story that I've been wanting to write a book about forever and ever, and I know it will help people. It could even save someone's life one day, but it's such a personal story, and I know people do write their personal stories, and but do I really want to make money out of it? Or, sometimes you have to think, maybe I just need to write the story, but do I want to make money out of it? Or do I just want to help people? So, how do you define that?
That, you know what, that is the conundrum of the year, right? That is something that people often struggle with. If you're having a story that's like a heart story or a purpose story that might not necessarily have to do with your business, but it's one that you know can help someone else. How do you tell that story? And let me ask you this, Rose, what is it about your story that gives you pause about sharing it?
Well, there are a couple of things. One is that it's, I don't know, it's reliving the trauma. And I think my kids are just dead set against it.
Yeah, yeah. So when you're writing stories like that and there are other people involved, that's a whole another part of it
Well,
as
they're not
well.
involved in it, though. You see, that's the whole point. It happened
Okay.
to me as a child and a teenager. So it's got really, but they're just dead set against it. They just don't want me to write this story. For some reason, they've not really given me their reasons for it. They just dead set against it. And I think because it's such a personal journey, do I want to drag up all that trauma?
Right, right. Yeah. And it might not be that your story is for public consumption, right? And that's one of the things that you also have to manage when you're thinking about what to share, how much to share. You don't have to tell everything. If you're in a position where there are other people who are dead set against you telling your story, people who you care about, people who you don't want to hurt them, and you don't want to cause a rift, or you don't want to bring up old trauma for yourself, then your story you might not be ready to share that story, or that story might not be for something that you share into the public. Maybe it's a one-on-one story you share. One of the things I counsel my clients on when they're coming to me is to realize that they want to share stories that they're confident about sharing, that are going to help them to further their purpose, and also stories that they are ready to share. There have been many clients who've come to me and they have stories on their hearts, similar to you, Rose, that they say, I feel like this story could help somebody. But when we go to write it causes so much stress. It causes so much strife. It causes them so much anxiety about sharing. And my advice to them is, hey, this is not the time to write this story. As much as you want to, right now, you need to heal a little bit more. Or you need to get things together a little bit more before you can write it. The purpose of sharing your story is to help others, to inspire others. But if you're coming from a broken place, or you're coming from a unhealed place, or you're coming from a place where you are holding back because you don't want to hurt other people, then it's not the right time to share your story. And I tell people that at least once or twice a week. Honestly, I'm telling people, hey, it's not the right time. Or if you want to really impact and inspire, let's look at some other areas of your life that you can share and tell a story, write a book about, because you want to make sure that when you're telling your story, you're coming from a healed place. You're coming from a place where you've learned the lessons, where you've received all that the story has to offer, and then you're sharing from that strong place. Because if you share your story from a broken place or an unhealed place, you run the risk of damaging the person who's hearing it, because they don't get the lessons from it. They don't get the full benefit of it because you haven't learned them yet. So that's really advice that I give to people when they are having difficulty. We go through, we do a whole, we look at your vision. What do you want to do with your story? What is the purpose of your story? How is it going to benefit others? And then what's the impact that it's going to have on you? And if the cost to you is greater than the benefit, I just recommend that they don't go forward with those stories.
That is absolutely wonderful advice, and I will take that and I will run with that. Thank you. Now, as
Yeah,
a business owner, Benecia, how how can we tell a story? Like, what types of stories would you be sharing that would be of impact to somebody?
Yes. So I mentioned it a little bit in passing before. You want to tell stories that are going to do a couple of things. First, you want to tell stories that are going to build your credibility or your authority. Stories about accomplishments, your journeys to accomplishment, stories about things that you've achieved. Those type of stories, again, build credibility. They build upon your expert status. So you might tell about your journey to becoming a certified coach, or your journey to getting a degree, or if you're a marriage coach, your journey to finding the love of your life. Those stories show your credibility and your authority. You also want to share stories that allow people to relate to you, stories that your community can see themselves in. One of the things that I am one of I call it one of my banner messages, right? The world needs your story now. And in that, we need to see authenticity. We need to be able to see ourselves in other people's stories. People need to see themselves in your story. And oftentimes, what we see out there is the highlight reel, it's the end result, it's the front stage, and we don't get to see behind the scenes. And people need that. People need to see real, relatable people. And so when you share your stories that make you relatable, it could even be a story of a mess up or a mistake, or somewhere where you've gone off course and you figure that you've gotten back along the journey. Those kind of stories make you relatable. That people see, oh, she's not perfect. He's not perfect, but they are making change, they're making a difference, and they've had bumps and bruises along the way. I get to see myself in this story. And those are the stories that really build that know, like, and trust factor. The authority and credibility stories say, yeah, this person has the education, the foundation, the credentials, but those relatability stories make people want to lean in. Think about it. Think about the messages that you consume and those messages that you really dive into. You're scrolling on Instagram, or you're on TikTok, or you're on Facebook, you're scrolling, you see 10 tips to reduce your budget, or 10 tips to make $1 million in 20 days, right? You see
I
those stories
wish.
and they have right. But you see those stories, and or you see those posts with the different tips, and maybe it's a carousel, or maybe it's just a list of tips, and you scroll right by. You find something that people are saying, oh, let me tell you about the time when I da 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 da, and they go into a story. You're leaning in. You are hooked for those 1 to 3 minutes, whatever platform you're on. You're hooked, and you want to know more. Those are the relatability stories. And those are the things that bring people into your community, wanting to know more about you, wanting to know more about what you do. Because when people like you, they want to know more about you. Then they begin to trust you, and you build a relationship where now you're having more credibility, you're having more clients, and ultimately more cash flow. And so when you tell stories that not only make you an authority and show your expert status, but also make you relatable to build that community, that's going to be amazing.
Absolutely love it. I absolutely love that. I might write a book about my podcast journey.
Yes.
The journey of a podcast host.
Yes. I love it.
Benecia, you have a book. It's the title of our discussion today, Let Your Light Shine. Tell me a little bit more about that book and what's in it, and and why people should be buying it.
Absolutely. So Let Your Light Shine is actually a part of the Inspirational Journals project. And this year, 2023, I brought together 12 authors, 12 individuals to do something different. Now, I'm normally doing book collaborations, but I'm doing this special project as a publishing collaboration where each person has their own book, their own journal based on their message, and we are coming together to help each other to promote, to build a community, those kind of things. So Let Your Light Shine is a part of that. And I jumped into this book with the passion of helping people to let their light shine. I said it before, the world needs your story, and the world needs your story now. And I truly believe that there are so many people out there with powerful messages to share that are holding back because they don't understand how impactful their stories can be, how life-changing and transformative their stories can be. And so Let Your Light Shine is a guided journal. And it is a journal that takes you on a journey to turning on your power. If you've ever thought, well, why would somebody want to read my story? Why would I want to share what I have on the inside? You know, if you are lacking confidence in any way, or you're sitting on the fence trying to figure out, should I share my story? Let Your Light Shine is going to help you to turn on your power, turn on your confidence, turn on your ability to impact and inspire others with your story.
Wonderful. Absolutely. And where can people find it?
It's on Amazon right now. So Amazon.com, and you can find Let Your Light Shine.
Wonderful. And you've got a collaboration as well, and that you wanted to share with us. Well, can you explain about what that collaboration is?
Absolutely. So in addition to the collaborative publishing with the journals, I also publish a yearly inspirational devotionals book collaboration project. And this is bringing together entrepreneurs, ministry leaders, influencers, creators who want to share their stories. And this collaboration is perfect for someone who wants to share a snippet of their story as a toe in the water, if you will, to be able to get published, be an author, go slowly into being an author. But the Inspirational Devotionals Project is all about uplifting and encouraging others with our stories. Like I said, we all need to see ourselves. We all need to know that we're not alone on this journey. We all need some encouragement and inspiration from time to time. And so I bring together a collaboration of amazing authors who are sharing parts of their stories. Now, the best part about it for those who are sharing their stories is that they are getting their messages out into the world in a way that they can be proud of. They are impacting lives. I have had so many wonderful people call me, text me, DM me, message me about their impact from the book, both as a co-author and as a reader. So I'm excited about that. But inspirationaldevotionals.com is where you can find out about the projects. And there's also a button there to apply if you want to be a co-author in our next book collaboration.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you for sharing. And if you were to offer some words of wisdom to anybody, and no one in particular, what might that wisdom be?
Let your light shine. That is the hallmark of everything I do. I believe that we all have powerful messages to share. And when you turn on your light, you are illuminating this world with hope, healing, breakthrough, and transformation. So always remember that you are the light of the world, and it's time for you to let your light shine.
Wonderful. Benecia, thank you so much for sharing. Love that wisdom. It's wonderful. We all have places in the world, and we need to let others know that we exist, because we can't keep hiding in the shadows forever. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to reading your book sometime in the future, and inviting you back on again, and encouraging us to get our stories out there.
Awesome. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Bye-bye for now.
You've been listening to Talking with the Experts, hosted by Rose Davidson. Make sure you have a look at our back catalogue over at talkingwiththeexperts.com. And be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss out on any episode. We look forward to your company next time. Talking with the Experts.